Cracking everybody. Buenos dias, saludos. With the pad just kicking it. Uh, I was watching a video today, and it was about this dude talking about his neighborhood, and he's an older dude, and I I was looking at him thinking like, dude, this dude talks like my homeboys, my homeboys, my homeboys, and he's an older dude like me, and it just didn't sound right. And I'm gonna get into the topic of my father a little bit. You know, I was a daddy's boy. My father was everything to me. My father was a superhero. I looked up to him for everything. He just had no faults. Uh, and I would do anything. I used to take off of school to go work with him. I would dig trenches all day just to be there with him. And then sometimes when he in a fight with my mom, he would take me with them to East LA and he would go see his homeboys. And he'd just pull up to random pads and these people be there with their families and I'd go out there and play with the kids and he never introduced them as his homeboys. But as I got older I realized that those were his homeboys. They were from his barrio and I think without him intending to or wanting to, he inputted something in me. He showed me the loyalty, the love, the homie love, the growing up and having your homies there all the time and just stuff that the good parts of it, without telling me the bad parts, without telling me the downside, the disloyalty, the bad parts that come with being from a barrio. You know, I'm one of those guys that have never asked anything of my homeboys. I don't ask my homeboys to go and do things for me. I've never been one of those guys who I get jumped and go call my homeboys, let's go row. I'm not one of those guys that never have been. I've always been one of those guys that just handle shit on my own. You know what I mean? That's just the way I was. I don't know why I was like that, but I was. Um, and I'm not trying to give myself credit or nothing like that. That's just who I am. So I can tell you this, without any disrespect to any of my homeboys or anybody around me was there was times that things should have gone a certain way and it didn't. And I wasn't happy about it. And it's eaten at me throughout the years because I pretty much put everything on the line for my barrio. I put everything on the line for my homeboys. I, without question, it was for the barrio and that's it. And that's all you had to tell me. And when my father putting those little seeds in me without realizing, I think about what I do to my kids. I put them through, put little seeds in them I shouldn't have put. I've showed them things I shouldn't have showed them. I'm not talking bad things, just little stuff about, oh, this is my homeboy, and uh, showing them that, there's good parts in it, but at the same time without telling them the bad parts. Uh, Unfortunately, my kids seen the bad parts because I went to prison for it. Uh, I lost a lot of the time with my son. My daughter I was a little different with. My son, unfortunately, had to uh, deal with the fact that I was gone. I was in prison. He didn't have a father there when he needed him. And a lot kind of like with my father. When I needed him, he wasn't there, but it wasn't because he was busted. It was because he was gone. He was already dead. He was already buried. And even as an older person, you still need your parents. I see people losing their family members now and their fathers and their mothers at an older age. And I think all the time that, they were blessed to have their parents there that long. I wish I had mine that long. At least one of them, you know what I mean? But I guess this whole thing is you be careful what you teach your kids and what you implant them and that seed that you put in them because it does affect them and it does carry on later on life and it's not always good. You know what I mean? We have to teach our kids with everything that's good. There's always some consequences to something, especially when it has stuff to do with like with the barrio. We all know there's nothing good that comes out of the neighborhood as far as the gang violence and breaking the law and doing stuff that lands you up in prison. Uh, I know at the time we always think it's for a righteous cause, and then later on, when you get older and you're tired and been through all this crap, you got medical issues, and you're not tight with your homies the way you were, the way you thought it was gonna be. You start to realize that you did a lot of stuff in vain and wasted a lot of your time. Um, and I try my damnedest to teach my kids that there's a better way of life. And I think a lot of people feel the same way, just don't know how to express it or talk about it. Because a lot of times us talking about anything, especially when it comes to feelings, we're looked at as weak. We're looked at as somebody that just couldn't hang. But I went through all the trials and tribulations, and I've always rose to the occasion. I'm not trying to put nothing that make me sound harder than I am, because I'm not. I'm just a regular dude that lived a certain way and thought I was doing the right things. The right things is, teaching our kids uh, to live a better way. I wouldn't want my kids or my grandkids to be involved in anything that I've ever was involved in. I'm glad my son doesn't get involved in shit that I did. Um, he's not involved in gangs. My daughter's not involved in gangs. They stay completely away from it. So whatever my wife inputted in them, and I got to give her credit where credit's due. It's the majority of her that put those seeds in them, that implanted those seeds in them that they didn't want no part of that. Now, on the next video, I'll tell you about a thing my father took us to, and like I said, it was seeds inputted that made a difference in my life that I think about. But I'm gonna say that for another video. Have a blessed one, everybody. Bye bye.